Hey there! For today's practice session, we're going to be painting cherries. You're going to need your watercolor supplies, and if you're not sure how to set those up, you can take a look at the video right here. You're also going to need some cherries of your own, or you can use this photo of mine. And we're going to start by sketching our lovely model. Mine is already sketched out, as you can see. So either go ahead and take some time to sketch your own, or you can check the link in the description for where you can download my sketch, and then you can print it out, tape it on a sunny window or a light box if you have one, and go ahead and sketch that onto some watercolor paper. Alright, let's get painting. I've started by trying to figure out what colors I'm going to need, and I landed on alizarin crimson, cadmium red hue. What now? Cadmium red deep hue. Sorry. Prussian blue and cadmium yellow pale hue. Because I just feel like those are what I'm seeing. Like, I can get this kind of sap green from mixing these guys. And I think these will make a really nice purple to do for the shadows, which really to my eyes look gray, but I'm taking some artistic liberty because I think it'd be pretty with more purple in the shadows. So yeah. Alright. And since I filmed this yesterday and I'm having to refilm it today because I didn't realize my paper was down here out of the frame the whole time, I already have paint mixed in my palette. So I'll put a little bit more in there though. We'll start with, what am I starting with? Yellow, because there looks like there's some kind of peach undertones under the skin there. And so I'm going to start with some yellow and make maybe like a peach. Maybe use some of like this kind of orange I have. That was, I believe, the alizarin mixed with the cad yellow. I'm not entirely confident on that count, but I think it was. And then we're going to mix some of this yellow. Okay, and that's probably fairly saturated. Let's see. That's a little dry brush there. Not really wanting to do dry brush. Alright, there we go. That's not so bad. So, yeah, I think I will start with that, and then we'll maybe put the orange over it. So I've kind of drawn in some of the highlights, and I'm going to want to leave those the white of the paper. So I'm going to try to paint around those, and some other ones that I didn't realize I have. It's a slightly different placement than the one I had yesterday, but the sketch is from yesterday, so my highlights are a bit wonky. If you're using the photo on the screen, it is also from yesterday, so the sketch should match that fairly well. Shouldn't give you too much trouble. Alright, and I suppose I could have used a bigger brush here, but that's okay, we'll go with this one for now. Let's see, let's pay attention. See, there's a highlight there, I almost missed it. And I have some reflected highlights that are showing that my brain wants to say are the white of the paper, but they are in the shadow zone, so they're not going to be as bright as the ones that are in the light zone. So I think I'm going to leave the yellow off of that, but then paint over them pink, because they are very, very pale pink, it looks like. And this is a giant highlight. Okay, yeah, that seems good. We'll try that. And then there is also a fair bit of yellow on the stems here. Okay. You know what? I kind of want the background to be yellow. That's what I did yesterday, and it looked really fun. I liked that. So since everything's only yellow right now, I'm going to go ahead and paint the background. And to do that, I'm going to turn my paper a little and make some room here. Okay. I'm going to want it to be wet and wet so that it will spread all nicely, spread out. And I'm going to be putting the cast shadow of the bowl under here, right here, but I want the yellow to go under that because I'm going to make my shadow with the cad red and the alizarin, and those lift so bad. Like they lift very well, I guess would be what it is. They would come up. If I make my shadow with those and then try to put the yellow over them, it'd be a disaster as far as watercolor goes anyway. The neutral tint, like I sometimes use, works really well to be painted over, but when you start mixing your grays and purples and whatnot, you gotta be a lot more careful. That is a little too much water. You gotta be really careful of which ones will lift and which ones won't. I learned that the hard way. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of these, they're in the way. And then we'll see if I mixed enough yellow. I'm just kind of painting loosely. One of the things I wanted to try for this time was just to kind of not be too serious with it and just kind of play. And so I'm not being super careful to go around things or stuff like that. And I have heard that the fewer brush strokes you do, the more like fresh your watercolor will look. And so I'm trying to practice that. Probably doesn't look like it because I'm using so many, but I'm not very good at limiting my brush strokes, so that's something I'm trying to work on. Oops. Okay, so now that these over here too. Now that we have the background in, and of course, I mean, you can make yours whatever you want. I just was feeling the yellow today. And we pick the cat hair and lint out of the picture. Okay. So I think it looks like the cherries have dried pretty well. So I don't like the brushes over here. Just kidding. They're coming back. What? Brain. The cherries look like they've dried pretty well. And so I'm going to go with my other colors now. So now let's get some cad red in there. I'm sorry I'm so scattered. I'm a little scattered anyway, and then it turns out that videoing myself while painting is super, it just makes that way worse. So heads up if any of you are looking at doing your own videos of your artwork, it's something to look out for. Unfortunately, I don't have any good tips at this point. If you do, definitely share them with us in the comments, because I can't be the only one who deals with this. I imagine it gets better with time. But unfortunately, that makes for some very scattered videos in the meantime. Alright, let's see. So, making that bulgy. Let's not do that. Maybe not bright enough. That is not going to be saturated enough. I think I will end up adding more to that. No, don't get it in the yellow. Let's see. Let's test it out. I'm gonna use a little more. I really like the alizarin. I heard somewhere that it's not a light fast pigment, so like when I get to where I'm selling original paintings, I'll have to find a replacement, as you wouldn't want to sell somebody a painting and then have it fade. You know, that would be sad. But as of now, I use it since everything I do is replicated. You know, I take photos of it. Then it, you know, it's not a problem. I have to look into that more too. I want to do a video on, well, I guess mostly for myself. Like, I want to learn which pigments fade and which ones don't. Which ones tend to be more light fast. I mean, none of them are great in like direct light, sunlight, of course, but some of them do better than others just hung up in a room, and I need to find out what those are. I thought I would compile all my research and maybe share that with you guys later when I get around to it. It won't be soon, I will say that. It will be in a while. Oh, see, like, there we go. That's more saturated. I like that. And then I didn't test this one. That's pretty good too. Kind of like that it's transparent. And I think my, what's it here, kind of peachy orange still looks really good. Yeah, see, that's fine. So I think I'm gonna start with the peachy, excuse me, the peachy orange. Squeeze some of my water out here because it's a little excessive. And come in here and just kind of really warm these guys up. And because I'm trying to do it more loosely, I want to try like leaving spaces where like there's reflected highlights down here, and I'd like to leave those and as yellow, if that makes sense. See, and then here there's another one, kind of like on the other cherry where it's more pink. So I think I'm gonna not put the peach there, and we'll just come around the side here, and we'll see how that turns out when it dries. And then over here, see, too much. Same thing going on. There's a reflected highlight there. I'll just leave yellow, and that was a white highlight. Come down, and I think this is an okay spot to put the peach, but then up here is where I was having the pink highlight, so I think I'll go around this, like that, and then these are bright white highlights. Okay, that should be okay. Yeah, see, I thought it might be too orange, but it dries a really nice peach over that yellow. Oh, oops. And let's see here. So maybe now the stems, I'm thinking. And I have some green. I just mixed the, I mean, it's probably pretty obvious, right? The blue and the yellow. But the cad yellow and the Prussian blue, I mixed a fairly, it was like only a drop of the blue. It was a very yellow heavy mix to give me this kind of sap green. If you have sap green in your watercolors, it's almost exactly that color. And so, let's see here. It looks like the green does not go all the way to the end of the stem. It leaves this yellow, which might not really pop on my yellow background, but we'll see how it goes. And this one, same thing, but it's lower down. And it comes up, it's got green almost all the way up because of where it is on the stem. And then I'm gonna fade out this one. Oops, not put my hand on the yellow. I swear, every time. Let's see, like that. And I think I'm actually gonna do this. That's a little artistic license too. The poor cherries, they sat overnight waiting for me to repaint them, and so now they look a little sad. They were nice and full yesterday, and so the photo will be a better thing if you guys want to use that. let's see here. So I'm trying to make them kind of like how I saw them yesterday instead of this. Let me bring this up. I had meant to go in and make that stem a little thinner in my sketch. Oops. Too late now. Alright. Here's that. I like that. That looks alright. And then I'll go in there. There is some like more blue, like a more blue heavy green on part of the stems. And like part of this one is in shadow. So I'll get that with my darker blue green that I've got here later after this dries a little bit. And then, what now? Let's see. I think they have brown. I mean, on my withered ones here, of course, but like even the ones in the photo from yesterday, they had a little bit of brown. And so I'm kind of thinking, since this is yellow, the opposite's purple, and so mixing them would give a neutral, so some shade of brown. I'm thinking I want to overlay purple and see what happens. Meh. Okay. That might work. Or at least us, the green still too, but there we go. That's a little better. Just going from memory again here. You'll definitely have a little bit better time of it if you're looking at the picture. I think that was too much. Or in too much of a spot. Like that's okay. We'll do that for now. That looks good for now. Okay, and then how is our stem, like this, the skinny part of the stem looking? Like I might be able to go ahead and add the blue-green to that. So let's see. Yeah, see, that's a really pretty green. Let's see. This part is in shadow. You know what? No, it needs a little bit more blue. Maybe that was too much. Why not? Sorry, my hands are shaking wicked bad. Alright, there's that. And then it's got like a little bit up here. Okay. This one, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Okay. Well, I mean, that's why we experiment, right? So I think the green was maybe too much. I'm realizing now I forgot my paper towel. Let me grab a paper towel. Paper towel acquired. Now it's probably too dry. I was gonna dab it, but yeah. Let's see. This is why we are supposed to prepare beforehand. Oh no, that'll lift. Okay, that's good. We'll lift some of that up then. And I think I'll probably go in with a purple shadow instead of this green, because the green is just it's too much. The stems are not that vibrant. Yeah, so that's starting to look better.
And when you're doing this, you gotta be careful not to slap what you just pulled up, the paint you just pulled up, back into your picture somewhere else. Definitely done that quite a few times. That pulled up quite a bit. That's okay though, I think I like that better. Yeah, alright. Better than it was. Okay. So, let's see. What else? I think another layer on the cherries. So, we've got the yellow, got the peach under there that I can see through the skin. I think maybe the cad red first. I think I'm going to switch to a bigger brush because this seems too small. And yeah, what was that? Okay. It's a little dry brushing, that's okay. Alright, so now I want to leave, how I left some of the yellow highlights, I want to leave some of the peach highlights. Or at least go like super light over with the red on some of this, because there's, like, you can definitely see that peach underneath. So, let's see. Painting around my highlights from before. And then this is part of where you can see, oh, that's a highlight, almost painted over it. So I'm gonna get some of that out of my brush so that it's much thinner, and then I'm gonna pull that across. Yeah, see, that way you can, it still has the red, but you can see the peach underneath. And I'm just gonna pull that through the whole thing, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so then a little more red, just red, and we'll go, it's like all the way over here, almost, where it really, there's more red, and the alizarin is a little, it's a cooler red, and so it's a little got more blue in it, and I think that that will look nice for the to start the shadows, and then I'll go in with like the Prussian blue purple mix that I'm going to make and really get those shadows with that. You want to be sure not to get the red in any of the green, because like the purple and yellow, they're opposites and they'll neutralize each other out. And it was just a nice way to tone down a color. Like if that green was too bright and I couldn't have lifted it, adding a super tiny bit of red would have accomplished the same thing. It would have toned it down. So I do like that aspect. Let's see. So where does the peach come here? Ah, it is kind of, it is kind of where I am already. Let's see, what's I get for chattering instead of paying attention? So let's get some of that out of there. Pull some of that away. Oh, it's lifting. Like I said, remember, cad red really pulls out of there pretty thoroughly. Okay, so we'll do that, and come around like with the other one, and then I think, oh wait, but the reflected light, I think it's not this warm of a pink. So I'm going to leave those white still, and I'll go over that with the alizarin instead of the cad red. But I do want a little bit more cad red right here. It kind of pops out. There will be a dark shadow back here eventually. I'll leave that part kind of peach. Okay. Okay. So while those dry, I want to mix my purple for the shadows. And that highlight looks weird. I mean, I don't even really see it now. I don't know what I was looking at when I did that. Ah. Oh well. It may get a alizarin over it. Anyway, back to purple. What did I use? I think I mixed that with the Prussian blue and alizarin because they're both cool colors. I mean, that's a cool red. Wait, no. But I need a really light... wait. No, it's okay. So, again, that one goes really far, that blue. Very, pigmented. Very pigmented. Alizarin, not quite so much. Ah! So, I'll do that. So I'll put more alizarin than the blue, is what I was trying to say. Got distracted. And mix those up. Ooh, that's really dark. That's gonna be pretty. Probably too dark for what I'm doing, but that's gonna be really pretty. Those always make nice purples. There's like no mix of those two that I've ever found that I didn't think was a nice color. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, that's very, like, plum. Look at that, that's really pretty. So it's kind of a red purple. I'm not sure if I want to have a red purple, though, or if I want more of a blue purple. Faded out, what, wrong color, or wrong water. Let's see. Faded out, so like with water in it. What have we got? Yeah, see, I think it's too red. I don't want it to compete with the cherries that much. So let's do, I don't know why I rinsed it. So let's add more blue, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's try that out. Whoa, that's pretty. So it's still fairly red. A little more blue. This is how I end up having palettes just covered in paint. I mean, I mix way too much. Always experimenting. I mean, I do end up using most of it later, but I have like a gazillion little palettes because I keep all the paint in them and save it for later. And then when eventually they all fill up, and then I have to pick out whichever one has the most cat hair stuck in it and rinse that one out. But I have started keeping them under cover now, which is much better. Much less junk gets tossed in the paint while they dry. Let me see, I feel like this would be better. Wow, that's really dark. Yeah. I think, maybe? Still too red. Maybe still too red. Just barely, though. Like, it's getting closer. Oh, you know what? I could just take some of this and put it in here and use that blue because it's there already. That's gonna be too much blue. So pretty though.
Yeah, it's way too blue. And so then I'll take that, put it back in there. Mix that up. Get some water because it's so dark. Still very dark, still very blue. Oh, did I make it too blue now? Ah. Yeah, it's like just a straight blue. Oh man. The fine tuning, I tell you. I love mixing my own colors, but it can take a while. A while to get it right. Okay. Get all that blue out of there. Some of this. Well, that's just not even mixed up, so who knows? Okay, that's maybe better. Maybe? Is it still too blue? Well, that's not even a white paper. Let's see. Why am I being so finicky about this? Okay. I'm gonna cheat a little here. This is the one I made yesterday. Because I want this color. Okay, so no, that does have more red in it. That is much redder, and then I used a bluer one for the cast shadow. So, let's see. Then, I think what I'm gonna do is have all the purple, put alizarin in there. Add a lot of water because these are powerful. And so maybe, that's super red. Well, I think I'm just gonna have to stop fiddling with it or we'll be here all day. So let's see what this looks like. Probably like what I had earlier. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to be okay because I'm obsessing and I need to stop. Alright, so on the plate here, get that out of the way. On the plate, I've got this little, it like fades, it's a very gentle curve. Okay, that's better, I'm sorry, slightly more obsessing. Alright, so let's do this, and it's darkest right there at the top, and right here it comes around like that, but then it kind of fades out. And so I want to fade this out. Can you see that? It's like jerking the paper around. Fade that out. Uh-oh. Got some hard edges there. Comes down, and then the bowl itself has like there's no actual, that's too much water, there's no actual white, it just looks like it, but when you look at the white of the cherries, that's actually the lightest point. However, oh man, that's gonna backflow so bad right there. Dumped all that water on it. But I think I'm gonna lift part of this because it does get lighter, it's just not white. Yeah, I hate when I do that. Okay, and then that as well needs to not be white. Okay. Moving on. So let's go a little bit. And over on this side, there's mostly, it's just the cast shadows of the cherries that I'm seeing. So that is very red. Where did that? Oh. Well, yeah, it still is. So the cast shadows, there is a little bit here where in between the cherries where there's no shadow, and then right here there's a bit where there's no shadow. But other than that, it comes up around the rim here and then curves over to meet that cherry. Suck up that extra there. Okay. And then there is a tiny bit, so I'm going to take a lot of that paint off. There is a tiny bit of, what is that? Shadow from the stem. And they're much paler than the rest of the shadows. There we go. And then in the same vein, we're going to pull this around and kind of fade it down there like before. The rim of the bowl, I think I definitely made too harsh of a line where the rim of the bowl is. It's not nearly that contrasted, but I guess that's okay. So we're gonna, this part is gray, and then there's like some spots that are much lighter. Back here there's actually a full-on highlight, which should be the white of the paper because it's as bright as the cherries are, or the cherry highlights. There we go. And then we'll fade that out. That accidentally got some yellow in the plate there. That's okay. Okay. That looks halfway decent. I feel like it needs a little bit darker right around the rim. I do tend to go way overboard though, so I'll be careful. We'll start with this part and see what happens. And again, that is just way too red. There we go. The paint probably separated. Yeah, see, super overboard. And I just used my clean water. Oh well. Oh, this is too much here at the top. What was that about fewer brush strokes? Okay, that's probably better. How to stop obsessing over that, and I think I'm gonna go to the bottom of the bowl here. Then I still have a rim of super dark, where it's supposed to fade out more. I'm not very happy with that. I didn't do a very good job on that. For the under part, let's see. It is not nearly as dark as the rest of it. So I kind of, well, that is much redder. I don't know, maybe it'll work. However, too much here, too much of a good thing. Alright. Not entirely sure what I'm doing here. Let's lift maybe part of this out. Like that. And then over here it's a little, needs to be lifted out. There's some reflected stuff going on, and there's is that too way too dark? It's a little better. There's some reflected stuff coming up from the table below. And I think that's all I'm going to do for it, is lift that part out. And this comes down, has kind of darker here. And it's kind of all the way around there. And part of this. Definitely did not leave my clean water very well this time. Alright, let's see. And then bring that up those drops. Yeah, I need to leave that alone. Okay. I'll probably go back in with that a little bit, and then I'm gonna just hit this rim here so it's not the bright white of the paper. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna use some of the redder purple that I made, if it's not too much. No, that is too red. For the stem, that's probably better. No, not blue enough, not blue enough. Too dark. There we go, that's more the, sorry, you can probably barely see that. There we go. That's more the color that I was looking for those stems. So it comes along the edge here. Carefully. You know what? No. I was gonna switch to my detail brush, but the bristles curve a little on the very end of that one, and I end up like making more mistakes than I do even using a bigger one, which is a little obnoxious. There we go. And then do it again. Kind of fade out my color a bit there. Okay. I'm gonna curve this bad boy and come up this way. And if your hands don't shake and you can do this in one motion, major props to you, because it's probably ends up looking quite a bit better. That was maybe a little more than I needed there, but that's okay. And then, oh, I have a shadow part right here. I kind of like that. I feel like this part's not dark enough, but we'll get there. And then this one, oh, that's too dark. Don't want it to pop that much. On this part again, I'm trying to remember what it looked like. That's probably okay. Darker. Okay. I mean, that's not so bad. Now, let's see. I think I want to hit that outside cast shadow, the cast shadow of the bowl. And I'm going to kind of see what I can do with this, because I need quite a bit. That's probably a good color, so let's do that, but with my bigger brush, because that's a pretty big area. Okay. Sorry, too much water. Okay. And that is very dark, but it will lighten as it dries. And it is cast shadow, so it is dark. And it fades out towards the edges. Me and my too many brush strokes here again. Okay, and it curves right here. This is such a mess. Alright. Lightens up. And then before that edge dries, I want to come in and lay that out. A little stem things. Those are the only two I see. Even though there's 3 stems, I don't see 3 shadows. So I'm gonna not have too much there. And the shadows, those shadows kind of are lighter, but yeah, that's probably okay. Okay. Let's see where we're at now with the cherries. I think, I don't still have water on, or blue on that, right? No. Okay. I think now I'm going to use, was this alizarin? Yes. I think I'm going to go in with my alizarin, and I'm going to get these cherries some more color. So, I can see that there's a reflected light there, so I'm going to leave some of that, and then down, and then And then I got orange again. Just very lightly. Like that. And then when I come back up over here, I should be able to leave that and have it look okay. Leave this, but I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. This was that reflected highlight that I just wanted to put a alizarin on. Man. Of course, I don't have any clean water either because I made such a mess of it. Definitely supposed to keep your clean water separate. That should actually, I think that will be fine. And then I'll come up on the side here because it's got some color there. And back on this one a little bit more like this. Yeah, see that alizarin really dries light. Really light. Alright, now I'll leave that alone. Paint over that weird rando highlight and then come in here. And this is gonna get lift more of that back out. It actually is not the way I had it. And then come back and it mostly just comes up like that. That other side. Cut in on the stem with. Oops. And then I'm going to make this highlight a little smaller. It seems to stand out a little too much. And then this one as well. And over here we've got that pink spot going on, or like what looks like what is that? The reflected highlight. And this was quite a bit of paint, so I'm gonna have to leave that alone for a little while. Let it dry. There we go. Really, I mean, I did lift that on purpose earlier, didn't I? One of these, need to just stop messing with it type of situations. Okay. Oh, you know what? No, just kidding. Right here. Need to lift that out a little bit. Okay, well, maybe also part of this. Yeah, that looks a little better. A little better. Okay. I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't happy with the one I made yesterday either, and this is now my second try, and I still don't like it, so maybe it takes more tries.
paint like 500 cherries and then they'll look decent. But that's what it's for, you know, we're practicing. It's a good thing. Alright, I'm gonna cover some of these ridiculous amounts of highlights. Alright, and then that was the reflected highlights that were going on. That needs to be covered. This is a reflected highlight. And then this one, I'm going to have over that highlight a little bit and then leave it alone. And this reflected highlight needs more red in it. Okay, I think that's good. You know, that's what it is. Okay, that I think is maybe better. So that now this is too bright. Yeah, I don't know. I'll put the blue in it and see how that helps. Because that is not loving it. Okay. What else do we need to do? The front of the dish needs a little bit extra attention here. Darken it up just a little bit. Bring it forward a little more. Not quite that much. And then it comes down. And there's a reflection there. Okay. That's a little better on that, I think. And so now I'm just gonna wait for the cherries to dry a little bit more. Because, you know what, after I lift out a little more of that highlight because I messed up. Now I stop messing with it. Okay, so I'm gonna let the cherries dry and then try to put the blue on and see how that goes. So since I didn't bust out my hairdryer to do it, I'm just going to stop for a while and come back. Alright? Okay. I think it's time to add some blue. It's mostly dried, honestly. I'm being a little impatient. So let's see, we got that color that looks really nice. And I want to see where my shadows are. I definitely got some over here by the what's this? Stem. And then I really don't want to do too many brush strokes with the shadows because, like I said earlier, that red will lift. Like it already was trying to right there. Okay. So we'll do that and then tiny bit around there. Ooh, careful, careful. Okay. I don't know. That doesn't... I don't know. It's fine. It's good for now. feel like I should have let it dry a little more. It definitely is trying to lift here. Should have used my hair dryer. I'm gonna be that impatient. Okay, so I think there's actually a little bit more right here. Not that I'm getting any paint on there, but there we go. So then a little bit in there. Okay, so I'm going to leave again. Oh, wrong one again. I'm going to leave again and let that actually dry. And then I'm going to put one more layer of the Cad Red because I think I need some pop. And then I think that's going to be done. So, break time number 2. Alright, break time is over. Let's get some Cad Red on these. And then I think our cherry painting session will be done. Now, I don't want to do it just willy-nilly. It looks like not everywhere is going to need it, right? Or we'll mess up the other highlights. But I want to paint over the shadows at least with red because they were too blue. And definitely right there. And then a little bit more in there. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe I do a little there. Okay, and then the next one, I don't know, that reflected shadow just really gets me. Like I don't like how I did it. Well, it's okay. I will keep practicing. Try again next time. Alright, and then this guy, I'm going to come up there, and then that did have the reflected shadow again, and then that has peach right there, so I don't want to cover that. And then we'll come over to here, get all this part. And I think a little bit over this way. Yeah, I do like it better with the Cad Red thrown on there. Well, I mean, maybe not thrown, that would be a little more exciting. There we go. And this part actually is more red. Except I don't have any more on there. There we go. And then fade that out a little because that part is still peachy. Okay, so I think that is good compared to the one from yesterday. I think I like it better than the one from yesterday on the cherries. I think I did the dish better yesterday, and I think the shadow also, this is super streaky. And then it looks like this one actually did have more red in it, which kind of looks nice. But I like the stems better on this one, they really pop. And I think I did the highlights and shadows better on the cherries this time. So, hooray for practice, right? It's good to compare and see what to do next time.
Thanks for joining me today. Until next time.